Good. I'm sitting on the wrong side of town. Okay, I'm on the wrong side of town. You can see, oh, everything looks foggy. Okay, let me fix this. It's the light above my head. Yeah. This is not good. Okay, let me fix it. I gotta switch positions. Oh boy. I got everything all backwards here. Okay, this is a little bit better. It's the lighting above me. So I don't like lives that much. Um, I don't know why this looks so green. Okay, that's a little better. That's better. Okay. Let me I have to have my camera on the side here so that I can show my hair while doing it. Looks like there's one person on. Welcome, whoever you are. Wait, hold on. Okay. Hi, Cheryl. Okay, I'm a little bit running late, guys, because I had a doctor's appointment and my doctor's appointment was at 3 o'clock and I'm still sitting there after 4. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? I had to act like, you know, I had to act a certain way to get seen. But for today's live, I will be I started my hair in the back. It's kind of like up, but my next protective style is going to be braids because braids last longer than twists. I know some people don't like braids, but I will go this small in a braid on my hair. This is as small as I will go because if you go smaller, but the thing is with fine hair, it becomes a disaster to take out. But this actually looks small. It looks thin, but look at this. I'm going to take my glass for a second. I want to show you the back of the braid and you'll see what I mean. It's a pretty large section. Like you see that? That's a pretty big section. It's just that because it's not so much hair there, it looks thinner than the section actually is. And look at my little skunk patch. Anyways, so what I did, I freshly washed my hair already. It was my every intention to actually have more of my hair braided so that we could chat a little more before while I was braiding. But like, I only wanted to have like a few braids in the front, but time escaped me. I couldn't do anything about it. So I'm just looking at all these grays. Oof. So what I did was because I'm doing the center part and I'm basically going to do box braids, what I like about it is that the box braids, I can style them in many, many ways, putting my hair up, ponytail bun, twisted it, whatever. There's a lot of ways to do protective styles when you have braids in your hair. Now, if you opt to have braids that are added hair. I don't do added hair, but if you do that, it'll last even longer. My goal for this style is for it to last 3 weeks. So, what I'm going to do, because I did start the back. Oh, what I wanted to say was this. I'm doing the part in the middle, but what I really don't like is when you part your hair down the middle and then you braid it, then you just have this like part and your braids are all kind of like falling, like with this huge part down the center. And I don't like that. I want the back to kind of just fall like this way without a part in the middle. And then the front can fall like this way. So what I did was, I'm going to show you how I have it. I sectioned off the top two pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie one side up. I washed my hair. I blew it out. And, I used my Revere, blew my hair out. And some people will say, well, like, if you're braiding, why would you blow your hair out? Simple. It makes the style last longer and it's less tangling when you braid the hair while it is really, really stretched. So my hair is very, very stretched. And let me show you the back again, how I am aiming to get rid of that middle part. So you see how I have the braid, instead of having it split all the way down, I have the part go like part of the way down. I hope you can see that. It's really hard to do it when it's live, but like part of the way down. And then here, I'm just going to do like two rows of 3 braids. So basically 2 rows of 3 braids on the bottom, and then the rest of them will go with the part down the center. I hope that makes sense. I gotta put my glasses back on so I can see what y'all saying in the comments. Do, 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 do. My hair's done so much. I've learned how to embrace it though. I'm able to put in some crochet box braids. Yes, lasts for 2 weeks. Oh, 2 weeks is pretty good. So let me show you after I blow my hair out what I'm using on my hair. So I used, I washed it in the previous live, our very first one. I showed you how I prepped my hair for any protective style. I'm using Olaplex products because they really help to strengthen the hair. The bond building technology really, really helps. Especially when you have a protective styling thing where you're not really taking your hair out that much. You want something that really keeps your hair strong. So I've used Olaplex. I've already set my hair. I have Olaplex number, I think 7. I have the bonding oil and I have the leave-in in, whatever number that is. I always forget. But then what I do is when I braid, because I already put the bonding leave-in and then the bonding oil, even though you're not supposed to use oil with a Revere, it's such a tiny amount that you use of the Olaplex bonding oil. You don't need much. So I just take my chances and then I just blew it out and then I braided it. But what I do is at the roots, I'm using my 24 karat CBD and 24 karat gold Edge Grow. So this is a product that's sold in beauty supply stores. You can pretty much get this, not any beauty supply store, the ones that are in the hood. You can also buy it online. I purchased them online. Then what I'll do is I work it into the root and I'll demonstrate it. I work it into the root and then braid the hair. And this just allows everything, just like it smooths your edges, it smooths your braids. And then once the braid is done, I take a little bit and I smooth it down the braid as well. But I am also using Ominira Naturals Extra Strength Hair Strengthening Oil. So this oil, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to sit here and braid my whole head because even though the braids are going to be sort of large, it's going to take me some time. And while I'm not going for completely perfect parts, I'm going to try and get them, pretty straight for the most part. So this side is clipped up out of the way. I have my phone here, so I'm probably going to look to the side a little bit as I braid because it's kind of, I can do it here in the computer, but it's kind of difficult. So um let's chat. Let me tell y'all, my grandmother's funeral was Friday last week. And I'm gonna just say it like I say it. Black people don't never know how to act. Maybe y'all Black people know how to act, but my family smoking weed at the grave site, like it y'all, like my grandmother, God rest her soul, like she would have been so unhappy with that. It's terrible. Like you couldn't really hold smoking your weed until the burial was over. Like that is just so disrespectful. Anyway, like I said, I'm gonna do these in box braids. Yeah, the weed and get this. My mom, oh, why am I recording on my phone? I didn't mean to do that. My mom, my mother's an only child. And as an only child, she only had my grandmother. There was my great grandmother. She passed away when she was 79. My grandmother was 98 when she passed away. However, my mother had her for 70s. My mother's in her 70s. So she did pretty well when it comes to, not crying and everything until the very end. And at the very, very end, she cried. They opened up the casket, showed the body, and she cried. And my niece went over to her and was like, "Grandma, why are you crying?" Like smiling, right? Like, it's gonna be all right. First of all, we know it's gonna be all right. We know she's gonna see Jesus. And we know that grandma is in a better place. And we know that we will see her again because we know Jesus too. But during the grieving process, you got to let people grieve the way they grieve. it's everybody's different. Everybody is different. And some people may cry, some people may laugh, some people may not react at all. And that's just how people grieve. That's just how it is. I'm not getting this part that straight, but that's because I'm in this camera here. But it's all right. I don't it doesn't have to be perfectly straight, to be honest. I'm just trying to get it like somewhat. But yeah, so when she did that, my I know my mother was annoyed as all get out. She did not she really did not say anything. She just kind of like continued to cry. And this is how she handles things. This is how she handled it. And it was just very insensitive for her to like come in her face and be like, "Grandma, why are you crying?" Like, I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna leave it at that. So now I'm gonna put my Mineral Naturals oil in my. Oh, this is a new bottle, so it's not coming out yet. There it is. Um, and then I like to work this oil really through my hair. There's different reasons you can use oil in your hair. Obviously, the main reason that we all use oil is to seal in moisture, right? But it also helps with manageability. It helps reduce frizz. It helps with just kind of smoothing the hair shaft. And so I like to just put that amount in my hair and just really smooth it in. It will add shine. Even my little grays are starting to shine up a little bit. But what I'm going to do is, because I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing this box braids, I'm going to split it. Yeah, like right there. And again, not perfect parts. I'm okay with it. And I'm going to just kind of twist this up out of the way and clip it with the rest. But yeah, my family is just you know, they say you gotta love the family you got. Y'all, I don't know. Oh, so here's the thing. My hair is pretty thin in the front for the most part. It's grown in a lot since I've been using Ominira's like hair growth potion, and like I don't have as thinning edges as much as I did. But this is really very genetic. And because it's genetic, you have to work with what you got. So instead of like splitting it here, I could split it here and I could put like a braid here and a braid here. Or I could split it this way and braid it this way, because either way, the braid is going to be very thin. In fact, you know what? I think I am going to split it. Yeah, I think I'm going to split it this way only because I have this silver patch and I really want to smooth it. And I think if I make the front section, if I combine it here, it's just, I think I'm going to just do it the other way. So I'm going to take the front, just the front. And then what I'll do is I'll split this in two. Um, but yeah, going through like the whole situation, actually, y'all, I think I changed my mind. This section of hair is so thin. I'm just gonna braid this piece. So I'm gonna add some edge control because edge control really does help, even with smoothing out the grays, because the grays are very wiry and they're a little bit unruly. Let me see over here. They're very unruly. They don't lay flat. They do what they want to do, but I'm not going to complain because it could be gray hair or no hair. So, anywho, I'm going to braid this going back as smooth as I possibly can. And then at the end, when I do finish braiding my hair, when I go to bed, I will add a little bit more edge control and like just to keep it really smooth because I want this style to last. All right, so I'm braiding here. I'm trying to see. Let's see here. Oh, y'all saying hi to each other. Anyways, what do you guys think is the absolute worst thing that could happen at a funeral? Jumping in the casket, maybe? No, we didn't have that. Although I really felt like I wanted to. One thing this funeral did teach me is that I don't want to be embalmed. When it's my time to go, I don't want to be embalmed. I want to be like the Jewish people do it. And even I think Muslims do it too, where they're buried within 24 to 48 hours, because I don't like the feeling of like I touched my grandmother. I didn't she felt like styrofoam. I didn't like that. So I don't want to be embalmed. I just want to be buried. But anyway, so the repast, right? The repast, what you do? You eat, you socialize, you kind of like commemorate. So my daughter, she wanted to commemorate by looking at photo albums and stuff. And so here's the thing. Where's the food though? Where's the food? The food wasn't ready. We didn't order no food. Nobody cooked no food. We was just like, well, what we all gonna eat? Oh my God. Like again, black families sometimes. We ended up ordering from BBQs. And it was over $400 to eat at BBQs. I mean, they deliver. Thankfully, BBQs delivers now. So we didn't have that. We didn't really have a big issue with getting the food, but it took like 2 hours for them to even decide on, well, what are we going to eat? I can't. I was ready to go home, but I was trying to, be there for my mom and stuff and just see how, just be there for her because it was just a mess. All right, I'm going to take this part right here because that section in the back, I'm going to clip this over here and I'm going to just put it, oops. I'm going to put this here. I should have more clips, but I don't feel like going to get them. And I'm just going to I probably should, right? Oh gosh, it's a hot mess right now. Put it over here and I'm going to just wrap it and clip it under this one. All right. So, how are you guys doing with your protective styling? Last week, well, not last week because that was the funeral. The week before, when I did the first live, I was like, yes, I'm prepping my hair for the protective style, and I was supposed to record it. But guys, I really did not have it in me to do so. I actually ended up just putting my wet, freshly washed hair into two flat twists. Like I parted it on the side, I wore two flat twists, and that was it. And I actually rocked those two flat twists as fuzzy as they were up until the day of the funeral. I took it down and I just re-flat twisted those two because I just didn't have it in me. Like I didn't care about hair. I was cared about the fact that my grandmother was gone. So yeah. All right, let me see. I had to put my glasses back on because I can't read the comments. This is what happens when you get old. I'm 54, guys, and I'm gonna tell you, it'd be a blessing to hit 54. It'd be a blessing to hit 64, 74, 84. My grandmother 90, 98. It'll be a blessing. Thank you, Cheryl, for your condolences. It's just people. I don't get it. I just don't get it with and then everybody was looking at me like, okay, my mother, I didn't expect her to like do everything. I did mostly everything. Like I typed up the obituary. I, helped her and drove her back and forth to the funeral parlor and everything. My sister lives upstate, so she didn't do anything. But then everybody's looking at me like, well, what we gonna eat? And I'm like, yo, I don't have a part in this. Like, I am not dealing with food, nothing else. And so that's why they came with, thank God for Uber Eats, because we would have just been sitting there like just looking at each other like stupid, stuck on stupid. But anyway, okay, so see how my braids, how the sections are large, but the braids are very thin, and that is fine hair for you. Some people have remarked and said like they didn't think my hair was fine. But remember, fine hair, it's not about density. It's about the individual strands, how thin they are. And when you have individual strands of hair that are sort of thin, when you put them together and you braid, unless you have like enormous amounts of density, which I don't, I have moderate density, it will still look thin. The braids look thin, which is why a lot of people with fine hair opt to do twists instead of braids, because when you twist, the hair like plumps up. But I did not want to do that. I just wanted to do braids because braids last longer. Now, I want to know what protective styles you guys are doing. Like, let's get this dialogue going. Tell me what you're doing, and have you been consistent? Have you been like cheating and like, oh, we're protective style today, but I'm gonna wear it out tomorrow? Like, how have you been doing with your protective styles? PJ says, I've been keeping it simple with the four cornrows, big twist. As a guy, I had no idea the intricate braids up every two wear, destroying my fine hair. Yes, it really can. Like, it's good to keep it simple. Some people I know can't really do um braids because they do feel like it's too much for the hair, and in which case I'll say, do what works, what's best. um I'm just using, for anyone who came on new, I'm using this edge control as like a pomade on the roots because it keeps it smoother and it keeps the braids looking neater longer. By the way, PJ, I think you might be the only guy to ever join lives or even maybe even watch the video. So, hey, welcome. You're a special guest. It's usually just us girls. Is it hard to take down twist all day, last 3 to 4 months? Are you asking me, bikes girl, is it hard for me to take the braids down? Or I'm sorry, guys, my daughter, she's texting me and I caught a glimpse of one word and it looked important. So please forgive me. Oh, she just graduated and she's an occupational, well, not just graduated, she just passed her board exam and she's an occupational therapy assistant. And she was just wondering if her license came in the mail. I will respond to her later. But as far as the takedown, twist all day. So the takedown for the braids, these braids, it's not hard to take down. It definitely takes a lot more time because braids, like look how long it's taken me for me to braid. Now, if you go to the African braiders, they be like, I can't even get my fingers to move that. This is as fast as I can get my fingers to move. Like, and I can barely, but the African braiders, they be like, more power to them. I couldn't do it. But it doesn't take me long. What I do is when I am ready to take the braids out, I saturate my hands with oil and I run it down the braid. And I usually start with a rat tail comb just to get the end. And then I will start to unbraid the braids. But for the most part, no, it's not hard to take down. It does take a little bit more time than twists. And I will probably do twists after this, and I'm ready to take these braids down in 3 weeks. I will do twists more than likely after that because I like to switch up my protective styles. Like I did the two big flat twists. Before that, I'm trying to think, what did I do before that? Was it buns? I think I did buns. I don't remember what style I did before that. But what I am going to do is I have some styles. I get a lot. I think I mentioned this before. I get a lot of um inspiration from Pinterest. Love, 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 love me some Pinterest. So I also have a pair of shears here in case I come across any hairs that are like, tangled, or if I come across any knots that I feel. I typically can't see my knots, but I can feel them. And you'll notice also, I am not braiding to the end. I am leaving pretty much that much open. And then when I'm done with my whole head, I will go in with this little pomade and I will smooth those ends. And then I will add a little bit of gel because the gel will cause the ends to kind of curl up a little bit. Now, even though they will curl up, because this is a protective style, I don't want my ends still rubbing my shirt. So all these braids are going to go up into some kind of like sort of style, which I will, determine later. But let's see, where are we? I will not keep you guys very long because, again, like I said, I'm not going to do my whole head. Plus, I want to see when I start parting the very, very back. I'm going to braid the front though, just so you can see my process if you're interested. in me, like how I'm doing this. So I want to part because I want my sections about that big. Like I said, I don't do small braids. It's a disaster to take down really small braids. And because the section is already so fine, I don't want to have to be fighting with, braids that are too small. Now look at that. This right here is going to be a braid because it's not that much hair here. So that's going to be a braid all by itself. And that's what it is. Get my little oil, run it across the thing here. And for those of you who weren't here last live, my goal for this protective styling challenge is to grow the front of my hair and my crown. The rest of my hair grows just fine. For some reason, this kind of hangs out at the same length. And the crown is just much slower growing. My crown is a totally different texture than the rest of my head. Like the down here at the bottom, my curls are really, really loose. In the crown, it's tighter. In the front, it's kind of like in between. So, a good deep conditioner for fine hair. I use Ominira Naturals just about everything. They're in London. Janet Davies is the creator. I literally only use Ominira Naturals now for the, deep conditioning portion of things. Other brands that I could recommend though, I do like TGIN. I really like their products. I also like Camille Rose Naturals coconut water deep conditioner. I use that for a long, long, long time. I'm trying to think, do I want to braid it going back? Yeah, I want to braid. So how you braid makes a huge difference because if I braid it going straight down like this, then when I go to pull my hair back, it's going to be like kind of crumpled up. So instead, what I'm going to do, well, first, I'm going to tighten this up so that I don't get it mixed with the rest of the hair. And I will only really focus on the direction of the braid in the front because that's the part of your hair that you see. The rest of the hair, you don't see it. So, and you see, like my parts aren't perfect. I'm okay with this. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. So what I'm gonna do is the skunk patch is just like taking over, but it's all right. I'm gonna braid my hair. Actually, no, I'm gonna braid it like going semi back. What I do is I take two fingers, I split it like this, and that determines the size of the sections of the braids. Now, look at this is very thin. That's just how it is, and I have to leave it that way. But once I start to go down, I know some people will say, like, don't borrow hair, but when you have sparser sections of hair, you kind of don't have a choice. It's just that when you borrow, you have to be mindful that, like, let's just pretend that I'm doing a twist, right? And I've twisted. I get to the bottom. I'm like, dang, I'm running out of hair. Okay, let me borrow from this section. And so I could finish off my twist, right? Same thing with a braid. I just didn't demonstrate it with the braid because then I'd have to take it out. But I've borrowed hair. So that means that when I do my takedown, I can't just do this and pull it apart because then I'm going to create tangles and such. So you just have to be mindful that when you borrow from sections, to just be careful to unravel the bottom up into where you've no longer borrowed, and then you can take it and split it apart. But anyway, that's my spiel on borrowing and sectioning. So take my two here again, section, and I I know how to cornrow, I just don't cornrow well. So I'm braiding backwards so that this right here can go up in a ponytail when the time comes instead of braiding downwards. Now it might fall somewhat down, and I'm also able to manipulate, like if I want to wear the front down and just have the couple of braids down in the front, I'm able to manipulate it with bobby pins. But for the most part, because this is a protective styling challenge, all these braids are going up and away, and I will not have to worry about my hair, which is just as well. Because another issue I'm going through is I got physical therapy. Now, for those of you who are very observant, when I finish this braid, I want y'all to tell me what you think, because I went to this pain doctor. Now, this pain doctor is a doctor who basically gives injections for pain or medication for pain. I don't want to get like addicted or strung out on no pain medicine. So I'm just being very careful with how much. Now here I'm borrowing. I'm being very careful with how much I am taking and how much I'm allowing myself to have. Even though they control it or whatever, I'm still being very, very careful about that. All right. So this braid, yeah. So when I'm ready to pull my hair back, you see, it'll go back. It'll be a little bit more smooth, but I can still wear it down. Now, y'all tell me something. Braids aside, everything. And when you look at me, does it look like one of my shoulders is higher than the other? He said that I'm basically crooked, which I feel like this shoulder might be higher. What do y'all think? Trying to like, I was trying to keep it straight as possible. He's like, yeah, you kind of like, so I'm like, all right. It does look like this one is slightly higher than this one as I'm looking in the screen. Um, I think so. This side, right? Yeah. And so it's weird because I'm like, well, because I've had issues. I had an MRI on my spine, and they were like, you basically have arthritis in your spine. I'm like, dang, I'm only 54. Arthritis in your spine. I got a bulging disc. I've been having this issue on my right side of my leg for the longest kind of time, where it was nothing but pins and needles. It's all the time, like 24 hours, pins and needles. And for the most part, I need to see this in the mirror. So I'm not gonna braid this side. I'm gonna do the other side. For the most part, I've just been living with it. But he told me, like, you know, that bulging disc is probably pressing on a nerve that's going down into the leg. So it makes a whole lot of difference. Yeah, a slight gait. Ooh, Tasha, you're using medical terms. Do share more about that, because I don't know. It's weird. So this is something crazy, right? Yes, I went to see the rheumatologist. Let me tell you, rheumatologist. Because the thing is, I don't really feel pain in my body except for the leg where the impingement is on the side. My back doesn't even hurt, even though they was like, you have arthritis and thing, and you got degenerative disc and all this. I don't really feel pain, so I thank God for that. But another thing that's weird that happens is when I'm on the treadmill, which is not often. It's been a while. But when I was on the treadmill, I'd be walking, and like, if let's say I'm like trying to jog, right? Which by the way, I can barely do anymore because the cartilage in my knees are low. So let's say I'm jogging. All of a sudden I find myself doing this. Like, how the heck I'm leaning to one side and I'm going straight? I don't get it. Oh, I take magnesium, but let me see. I take magnesium aspartate at night. Now, this alpha lipoic acid, I don't have that, but you know what? I'm gonna check that out. Yes, I use leave-in conditioner, Bikes Girl. I use, well, two leave-in conditioners, not at the same time, but I alternate. I'll use Ominira Naturals, like I said. I use their leave-in, or I use, like I said, Olaplex. Olaplex is my high-end product line. That's the one I use. That's like super high end expensive too. And that's the products that I use. I have greatly scaled back products because I really do believe less is more. Like, a lot less. And when you're buying expensive stuff, who has the money to buy a whole bunch of other stuff and the expensive stuff? Nope. I'm going to choose what I use. All right. So here, again, like I said, I want to do the back when I can see it, but I'm going to do the front here. And if you guys have any questions on your protective styling, like any ideas, tips you want, let me know. We have got quite a ways to go for this challenge, but I do believe that by the end of the challenge, this is going to be some inches. Not just mine, but I believe yours as well. So I think it's good for us to just be here to like motivate each other. And yeah. So this one, let me take off my glasses. I hate not being able to see. Um, again, I got the little small hair section here. So I'm going to put this back, get my pomade, smooth it out. And I'm gonna have to put my glasses back on. I ain't gonna be able to see a word y'all saying. It's crazy. Okay. I'm gonna braid this and then I'm gonna go put my glasses back on so I can see what the heck y'all talking about. But yeah. When I was growing up, okay, story time. When I was growing up, my mom used to braid my hair, and you know how it is, especially black kids. They put them little bobos in your hair and they would do like big ponytails, right? I had the thickest, you would have never told me that I had fine hair back then. I had the thickest looking hair, and then of course we had to go and relax it, and that thinned everything out. And so that brings me to the next subject, ladies and gentlemen, relaxing your hair. I know there have been some people who have been saying they want to return to the relaxer. Please, please, please. I know it's your head, it's your hair, you do what you want to do, but I implore you, please don't do it. Don't take the easy way out. And it's not about the hair looking better or the hair being more manageable. I know most people when they return to relaxer it's because they just feel like natural hair is too much work. And I feel like, yes, it can be a lot of work if you don't invest the time needed to learn your hair and learn, how to care for it in a way that is not so high maintenance. When I started my natural hair journey over 20 years ago, I definitely thought this is high maintenance. And why? Because I had no idea what the heck I was doing. Like, really, I hadn't a clue. So, when you take the time to learn your natural hair, you really will um, discover over time it's not as high maintenance as you think it is. Oh, let me put the glasses back on so I can see what y'all saying in the comments. All right. It's time for some new glasses too. Do, 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 do. Oh, yes, I'm gonna give me some lipoic acid. Wait, you said alpha lipoic acid. Is it the same thing as lipoic acid or is it different? Oh, Cheryl, I think you're right about creamy nature, but here's the thing. I think that this is my opinion, for what it's worth. I kind of stay away from the lines like Cream of Nature, Dark and Lovely, all those lines that was like all about relaxed hair back in the days. I feel like they just came out with products because natural hair became popular. And it wasn't really about being like the best thing for our hair. They were fine pumping out the chemical ingredients and the chemical ingredients and stuff when it was making a lot of money. Now that they're talking about, you know, uh relaxers causing cancer and on all those kind of things, and everybody's deciding to go natural, now all of a sudden they want to pump out these natural products, and their products aren't even natural for real. They really aren't. Most of these brands aren't. So I tend to try and just stick with the brands that was more concerned and ingredient conscious before we kind of started doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I know there's a lot of like DIY and small business hairlines and stuff. And I actually would prefer to support them over the big brands that didn't care nothing about what their chemical products was doing to our hair before it got popular. Just my spiel. So, um, uh, look at that. Yeah. See, so the chemicals, it is not good for your hair or your scalp. Everything that goes through your skin, is absorbed into your bloodstream. So it's something to just really be mindful of. People are going to do what they do. It's their hair. Um, I do what I do. People do what they do, and you either learn from it, you experience it. And let me say this about relaxers also. Back in the days when I used to get relaxers, I wish I could throw pictures up on the screen. I can't do it here. Um, Back in the days when I used to get relaxers, my hair was long. It was longer than it is now. And but it thinned out. So while it was long and it was thinning. What natural did for me, besides protect my health from, getting like chemicals absorbed into my bloodstream, is it helped my hair to thicken up. It helped my hair to thicken up. And it also helped me to like really learn how to embrace like how my hair is growing out of my head. Some people disagree with the fact that I'm even allowing my hair to go gray. Hey, you know what? It is what it is. I am not going to be a spring chicken forever. And I'm not going to be sitting here like dyeing my hair all the time just so I can look young. Like I'm not doing that. Question goes with Karen. Hi, guys. Karen Bowens. Hi. So I was just talking about, hair and relaxers for those of you who just popped on. I'm using my Ominira Naturals hair strengthening oil as I set my braids. See how I make it nice and shiny? I love this product. I love this product. And it really does strengthen the hair. It does. I blew my hair out. I mentioned that earlier. And I'm going to braid this front piece. I'm not going to do my whole head on camera because I can't see it all. And I need to be able to go into the bathroom and, braid it. But I'm going to braid some pieces. And this really is the skunk patch right here. Oof. But thank you, Lord, for some hair because I could be bald headed. And I got to tell you, my mom, when my grandmother passed away, she had probably 10 hairs on her head left. Like all her hair was gone. She had like some grays, like back hair. All of this was gone. My mother, for many years, relaxed her hair and she wears wigs and stuff now, but basically she's got some fuzz. She did have a brain tumor, so that kind of impacted also. But even before the brain tumor, her hair was thinning. And I vowed that I didn't want that. I told my daughter, and this is going to sound a little bit morbid, but I told my daughter that when I die, because I'm gonna be old if Jesus should tarry, and my hair is gonna be all gray. I don't want to cut my hair. I know people cut their hair when they get older and it turns gray. That's not me. So what I'm gonna do, this how I'm gonna be in my casket. My hair is part down this into this beautiful gray hair down to here and lush and full. And God, if I have wrinkles, that's okay. But I want my hair to be my hair and full and everything. And that's how I want it. And I told her, and she thinks it's a little bit morbid. And I said, and if God forbid it happens to be a little thin, then you add a few extra pieces in there to make it look full. But you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I don't know why. I guess for my grandmother, look at this. For my grandmother's funeral and everything, it just made me start thinking about mortality. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. I for many years, I know some people be like, "Oh, your hair is pretty" or whatever. Many years, I felt like, "What the heck? I wish my hair was thicker." I really do. And it's not the thinnest. I know there's definitely people whose hair is much thinner than mine, but we always want what other people have. We always want more. But I decided I'm gonna work with what I got. I'm really just gonna work with what I have. Like these grays, they are what they are. I did have an edge control that was black, which I might like go back to. I have to buy some more, but I don't have any more. But I have so much of the CBD Edge Grow. I'm just gonna use what I have. And if gray be darned. Gray be darned. Other people say something else, but I'm a Christian, so I'm trying to keep it nice and the Lord knows. Try to keep it all. Hi, Needham. So, that is basically my spiel. I'm not going to keep you guys on much longer. I'm going to go and finish my head. And in the next video, I'm trying to think. I have a lot of ideas. It's going to be some talking head videos because obviously if my hair is in a protective style, I'm not going to be doing my hair. So I'm going to be doing some videos, just me talking and sharing some tips. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. If you have any ideas for videos you want to see from me that are not me doing my hair, leave that in the chat as well. Because honestly, like, yeah. Do I look 54? My hair looks 54. But yeah, this is the rest of this is gonna get braided in the camera. I mean, not in the camera, in the bathroom. I have this one here. Let's see. See, I don't go for like the perfect size like parts and stuff. I don't care. As long as it's braided and is, protected, that's the goal of the protect style challenge. Now, you got these braiding experts. They would not be happy with the way I'm parting my hair, but that's all right because it's not that serious. It's just I just want to get it done. See how my parts are not even, and I'm all right with that. I actually think I'm going to split this back because also another thing that I like is that when you braid your own hair, that is, I think it's good to like it'll look natural. It looks more natural when it's not so perfect. You know what I mean? And definitely if I was in the mirror in the bathroom, it would be a little bit more perfect, but it's all right. So this whole section of hair right here, I feel like needs to be, yeah, this is going back there. And see, I have permanent parts in my hair. I didn't even part this, and look how good that part came out. That's just like my hair. I don't know if you guys remember. Do you guys remember Kime Tude? She used to be on YouTube a long time ago. And she used to talk about recycling your hair parts because um your parts, then you don't have to like keep doing them over and over and over again. And for me, I found that I already have developed some permanent parts, and so I just leave them the way they are. So, but yeah, Kim A Tube, I heard that she took all of her content down off of YouTube because she wanted to get paid for it. I mean, I guess YouTube wasn't paying enough money. Um, she put her content somewhere else. I think maybe a private membership or something like that. I don't know, but she took everything down from what I understand. But I do got her recipe. Let me tell y'all, her recipe for the leave-in conditioner, that pH balances your hair is the truth. It really, really is. You do have to buy like a leave-in conditioner. She always recommended Kinky Curly Not Today until she got her own line. And then you would mix it with like certain oils and aloe vera. And it pH balanced your hair. It really did. It did a phenomenal job. So, if I was doing like the whole like DIY thing again, I would definitely do Kim A Tube's leave-in conditioner recipe. But that is that. I have nothing else. If you guys don't have anything else, video ideas, questions. If not, I'm going to sign off and finish braiding the rest of my hair. And what I will probably do is because I'm not going to do a video to show you the finished product. What I'll do is I'll put some pictures in the community tab section, where I put little like announcements. I'll just show some photos of what it's looking like. Or maybe I'll do a video showing me how I style the braids. I don't know. But that's all I have. I'm gonna finish this off camera. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will catch you guys in the next video. If you are watching this video on replay, because I'm gonna let the comments play, or if you are, if you want to leave a comment later on, like of a video idea that you would like me to do, let me know, and I will, I'll look at the comments later on. But in the meantime, I will see you guys later. I'm going to like finish my hair, find me something to eat, and chill and hang out with my husband and my son. All right. Bye, guys.